Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about the movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 115, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and joining me once again is my partner, Brian Hall.
Hey, what's going on, Zachy?
Well, it's been a busy week, Brian. I've had a new addition in my life.
Oh, to your, like a sunroom?
I've added Rogue One, a Star Wars story, to my digital movie collection. So that's pretty...
Wow, congratulations.
I've been caring for it and nurturing it and watching it whenever I can. And I have a new daughter, too.
Whoa!
Yeah, I guess I buried the lead there.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
To you and the family.
Thank you, yeah. I was watching The Untouchables earlier this week with my students, and I realized I had become a father to a daughter because the opening scene where the little girl has the bomb and it explodes.
Oh,
I nearly started crying uncontrollably at that scene.
Yeah, so that's interesting because it's all boys up to this point, and now a daughter. I mean, does it feel different?
It does, because I thought I loved my sons. But I realized that for 10 years, that was just an elaborate facade.
Right.
There's no love there. No, of course I kid. It's fun. I mean, she's in her eating, sleeping, pooping phase because she's mere days old at this point. So in theory, she's the easier one to deal with than sort of the other ones. Because my 3-year-old, because what happens is that the one just before, because I've been through this now enough times, where you realize like the one just before the new one suddenly takes a heel turn once the baby shows up.
What do you mean?
Well, like my 3-year-old is at that point now where he is like aggressively wanting attention from mom, right? Specifically mom, and I mean mom is tied up.
Right.
So it's been a challenge, but it's a good challenge. I mean, the baby's healthy, and that's the most important thing. And she was very courteous when she arrived. My wife went into labor Sunday morning at 6:30, and so we left for the hospital at 8 a.m. on a Sunday. Which you talk about when you want to be on the highway for an emergency.
Yeah.
Sunday morning at 8 a.m. It was like the hospital that we went to is normally it's like half an hour away. 17 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So this baby was very courteous about when she chose to arrive.
Yeah. And even like 8 a.m., it's like, well, that's just delightful.
Yeah, it's not too early.
Yeah, it's not like 3:40 in the morning or something.
Yeah. So, but this is number 5, and we are done now.
Well, that's quite the collection, as you.
I think at this point, any more kids, we need a reality show to pay for it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. And then I could be like the wacky uncle.
That's right.
Brian's coming to visit. All those weird noises they always had.
I've done the math. Living in the Bay Area, the only way to make it work is you need a reality show. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, and then I can't remember if you said this on the show before, but I always thought this was hilarious in real life, where you were saying, with the 4 boys and 1 girl, now you have the 4 Ninja Turtles, and you've just added April O'Neil.
April O'Neil, yeah.
So, yeah, I can't wait to meet her.
Somebody was like, do you mean Venus de Milo, in reference to the female Ninja Turtle from that live action? Do you remember that TV show?
Yes.
And I was like, no, I don't mean Venus de Milo.
You know what's funny is I went on to Netflix. I hadn't been on there in months.
Yeah.
And I saw that show was added.
Yeah.
And the only reason I clicked on it was because I'd never seen it. And there's a place called Creature Features, like sort of nerdy, paraphernalia store or whatever, by where I work. And they actually have one of the suits on display.
Wow.
And so I was looking at it like, wow, what a weird... No, I'm sorry. I take that back. It's Meltdown Comics.
Okay.
I'd been to both recently. Anyway, but you look at it up close and you're like, man, how weird looking. Like it's like falling apart, deteriorating.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see it in action, and man, that's a weird show.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Yeah, it was ambitious for sure. Like doing that live action thing, but their mouths don't really move right, and
It's called Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. If you're listening to this and you're gripped by the sudden curiosity to check it out, there it is. But we warned you, so don't be blaming us.
Exactly.
Don't be sending us your hate mail. But other than Ninja Turtles: Next Mutation, have you seen anything else lately, Brian?
Man, I've seen quite a few things. I guess let's go in descending order of what I liked.
Okay. Descending order.
Ascending.
Okay, so we're working up to...
We'll start at the lower end of things.
Okay.
I saw a movie called Life.
Okay.
Life. And it is out in theaters currently. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. You were mentioning I'm the one who saw it. So
yeah, you are the one.
Yeah, it's this... basically, it's almost, you could say, it's a remake of Alien.
Oh, I thought it might be a remake of the Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence prison dramedy from 1999.
That's funny. I forgot. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, this was the trailer where it's like you have all these pretty like hotshot actors here. You got Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, Rebecca Ferguson, and they're all up as these astronauts in space, and then they let this little organism inside that they're studying, and they're like the first life that we found outside of our planet, and this is momentous and whatever. And then of course things go terribly, terribly wrong. And it's really funny. I did not want to see this movie. I thought it looked like whatever. Like, I mean, it could be good, but it just wasn't hooking me.
Yeah.
And my friend just insisted, and then he ended up getting like passes to an early screening of it, and I was like, okay. And it's funny because then when we walked out, I was like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad, and he hated it.
Okay.
But he was the one who kept telling me, like, yeah, this is so you. You're going to love this. This is like so you. But I'd say it was about what I expected. Like, it's... people are being kind of split on it. Some people are being really hard. I saw in Joe Blow they gave it like 3 out of 10.
Ouch.
I don't agree with that. It's not good, but I think what it is it's like it's a B movie dressed up as an A movie. So yeah, like the characters do some stupid things and whatever, but like that's not really what it's about. I think that's why maybe some people are taking it the wrong way, is because with these actors and with it looking like some sort of like a $100 million movie, they're expecting something a little bit smarter, but it's not. I mean, it's a creature feature.
Okay.
In space. And I'm not a huge fan of those, but I can watch them passively and be like amused by like, oh, well, how are they going to try to get out of this? Oh, and he didn't. Well, how's he going to try to get out of this? Oh, he didn't. Like, it's like a non-threatening hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Definitely not worth the trip to the theater, in my opinion. But, I say this a lot.
Well, I think America agreed with you based on the box office, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's a TBS movie on an afternoon if
Ouch.
you want. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, not high praise.
No, but I mean, it looks cool, and the creature I think is the most interesting thing about it, because its design is pretty unique. You haven't seen it before, and the way that it takes out people is kind of interesting. So that was what I kind of enjoyed, like just seeing someone trapped in a room with it and them trying to figure out how to get out. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't add up to a whole lot, really. So it is what it is.
So another whiff from Sony.
Yeah.
They're not having a good run right now.
Which is funny because I'm sure they spent a lot of money on it and this is the big release. But the things that I really enjoyed recently were these smaller releases that I happened to catch on Netflix, 2 of which I bet most people haven't even heard of. We'll go with, let's go first with Grand Piano, which is a weird thriller that you could be described as Speed meets a concert pianist.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, so I heard about this on another podcast, and it's written by Damien Chazelle, so that's probably the one, like, eyebrow raise. Like,
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it's from 2013. It's on Netflix.
Friend of the show, Damien Chazelle. Didn't we have his interview on? We did, right?
Yeah, right. And basically, it starts with this sort of defamed, concert pianist, and he had tried to play this like unplayable song 5 years ago, and he failed, and so now he's going to attempt it again, but he's super nervous, and he gets up on stage, and it's a very big deal. And then when he opens his sheet music, written on the sheet music is, if you play one note wrong, you'll die.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, it was like 15 minutes in, and I was like, here we go. All right. Like, But then I was like, 90 minutes of this? Like, what? How in the world are we going to get 90 minutes out of this?
Yeah.
But they do. And it's silly. It's pulpy. They find these funny ways to get him to leave his piano or to try to work while he's playing. And I laughed a couple times just at how ridiculous it became. But
the lengths to which they needed to stretch the premise.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's like you sort of have to expect that's what you're watching.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. I was like, where the heck is this going? And I also really enjoyed the direction. Eugenio Mira was the director, and I guess it was made in Spain. And kind of an under-the-radar production, I suppose. I mean, I looked up; it didn't even make $100,000 in theaters. I don't think.
Ouch.
Yeah, but it's like, Friday night, you're looking for a thriller with a story that is, you haven't seen before, and like, again, it's not ingenious, but I thought it was clever in its own sort of language.
Yeah.
And I'd recommend this as like a fun little 90-minute thing on Netflix.
On Netflix, Grand Piano.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Similarly, for a 90-minute person stuck in one place movie, I saw The Shallows.
This is Blake Lively?
Blake Lively is a surfer who gets injured and then is stranded on a rock.
Now, I've heard comparisons to Jaws. I've heard favorable comparisons to Jaws. Do you think that's taken things too far?
I mean, it's funny because I was trying to describe it to my parents, and take that how you will. Meaning that I recommended it to them. And so I guess what that means is I would never recommend a horror movie to my parents. Like, this is more of a tension movie. And I actually did relate it to Jaws in that I felt like it was the same flavor.
Okay.
Where it's not about the gore and it's not about the sensation or whatever. It's more about like, no, seriously, like this girl is on a rock and this is all she has and she's bleeding out. How do you get out of here? And you got this shark. So it's funny. I don't know that I would, in terms of writing and acting and whatnot, I'd compare it to Jaws, but it's like I said, it's of the same flavor, the same sort of like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not about the gore. It's about the tension.
Sure.
And I thought it was really good. I really, again, like this is one of those things where you got to compare it against, rate it against itself. But like for 90 minutes I kept thinking every 15 minutes something would happen and then I'd be like, how's she going to deal with this? And then they'd figure it out. And I was like, oh, okay. And then like, well, now what? Like we still got like 45 minutes. Oh, okay. Like they just kept coming up with things that didn't feel completely outrageous in like, stretching credibility. It was like, I mean, of course, credibility within reason. You understand what I'm saying?
Quote unquote credibility.
Right. But I just thought it was totally had my attention for the full 90 minutes. And I was like, well, that was fun. So, okay. Yeah, I'd recommend The Shallows. I saw this actually on Stars On Demand. So I don't know. You might have to rent this or something.
Okay.
I don't think it's on Netflix or anything. But again, another fun, compact, 90-minute, stuck-in-one-place thriller. Then, wow, I'm watching a lot of stuck-in-one-place.
Yeah, this is Brian's Brian's corner at the top of the show.
Well, it's funny because we were going to record the other night and it didn't work out, and then I had some time in the evening. And I, again, from the recommendation of a podcast, there's this movie called Train to Busan.
Okay.
Which is a Korean movie. And the IMDb summary, it says, when a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on the train from Seoul to Busan. And
good times.
Yeah, it's funny is we've talked about this before. Like, we're not big horror guys. And I mean, I like a zombie movie every now and then and whatnot. Like it really, I'm not really in it for the kills. I'm in it for the clever
characters.
Escapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the characters for sure. But just like I like the like how are they going to get out of this one sort of movies.
Sure.
And this one I loved this movie. Might be one of my favorite movies I've watched so far this year.
Really?
Yeah, it is really fun. And
now, is it from last year?
It is from 2016.
Okay.
And and as you said, it's the characters. I mean, they really set up these really interesting characters, and they're of course a little bit broader strokes. I mean, you're not going to find a ton of nuance in here, but you've got the jerk, and you got the bad father, and you've got the girl who prefers her mother, and whatnot. But at the same time, it starts off. And I was like, oh, like this is kind of like on the nose, and it's actually a little slow. Like, the tempo's a little bit different than, a U.S. film. But then it kicks in. I was like, okay, well, this is kind of fun. And then about an hour in, and I did enjoy the first hour, but right about an hour in, it just completely kicks into gear, and I was so on board with this movie.
Wow.
It's the characters are great. The situations they have to deal with are great. I was like, okay, well, I mean, you're on a train. I mean, really the only thing you can do is try to get through a train car. Like, what other sort of threat? Like, how else can you deal with this but having to continually pass through rooms with zombies? And they just keep figuring out new and clever ways to get around that. But not only that, they just find these really awesome visuals and situations. So it's like, it's one thing to be running from zombies, but to like flip certain things on their heads and come up with new creative angles to come at it. This movie just kept delivering all the way to the end, to the very, very end. I was like hooked. So I highly recommend this. Train to Busan. This one is on Netflix.
Netflix, and, Train to Busan, okay.
Yeah, and I'd love someone else to see it so I can talk about it with them, because I really dug it. I wouldn't be surprised in a couple years if we're watching Will Smith starring in Train to Seattle or something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is just ripe for Hollywood to remake this.
Well, that is something Hollywood tends to do, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Moving on from new releases... because we do have some spoiler conversations, but we'll save those till the end. Some headlines, Brian.
What do we got?
Well, I know you've been excited about Avatar 2.
Bring it.
Well, they are going to bring it, but a little bit later than was originally planned.
Well, and this just kind of keeps happening, right? Like, I mean, they keep saying a Christmas season they're going to put it out, and it just keeps getting pushed. I think as of now, it is undated, if I'm not mistaken. Avatar 2.
It was originally scheduled, not originally, but most recently it was scheduled for December of next year, so 2018 was the goal. But James Cameron has said, nope, not so fast, hold on. You can't grow roses in a decade. And so it's now bear in mind, it's not just Avatar 2, it's Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5. Which sounds avatarded to me, but I don't understand why again, and I think we've said this before on the show, but I do not understand why he thinks there is so much of an appetite for this much Avatar.
I mean, see, I'm so split on this because I completely agree with what you're saying, but James Cameron is no dummy.
I will never bet against James Cameron.
Exactly. So it's like...
However, ...
Well, what I find fascinating is Fox's like tripling down on this, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I mean, they just keep pushing this date.
Yeah, but I mean, what are they going to do, right? I mean...
No, totally. I mean, they're not going to not do it, but at the same time, they keep pushing it further and further away from the year it meant that, Avatar meant something to people, and just probably dropping more and more and more and more and more money. I mean,
let me put it this way. 2019 will be 10 years since the first one, and we don't know if it'll come out in 2019.
Right.
Now, here's some perspective. 10 years later... Not even 10 years, 8 years later, right now, does anyone talk about Avatar other than, hey, isn't there going to be a sequel to Avatar?
I know. It's such a funny, like, everyone knows what it is. It's the highest grossing movie in the world, but you don't see people running around being like, I see you.
and let me offer a contrast. This year, I see you. That's funny. This year marks 20 years since Titanic came out.
Wow.
Right? And Titanic is still part of the cultural conversation.
Right.
So in other words, we can see the disconnect here is my point.
But Avatar Land just opened at Disney World, which is interesting.
Which is like a contractual obligation, it feels like.
Yeah, I think it probably seemed like a good idea at some point. And
at some point, like 7 years ago, Well,
and it's weird, too, because you imagine that they probably had to build things that would tie into the sequels, but as the sequels continue getting pushed out, it's like, do they withhold that? Do they feel like, now we got to add this expensive edition in 3 years or something?
It's just, I mean, like you said, and I have a feeling this will be a conversation we're going to hopscotch across this conversation multiple times between now and whenever the sequels come out. But there is an element of hubris to me in Cameron's assumption that he's created something so transcendent that people want to keep revisiting it. I think what people responded to the first time was the experience, which was relatively unique. It was not the world he created, which was just, it's like a Frankenstein assortment of sci-fi cliches.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not Star Wars is my point.
No.
And
It's just interesting, though, that he has come up with 4 more stories, complete stories that he feels like he has to tell. I'm curious. I just had this vision, even just looking at this story on our little document that we're sharing here. I keep thinking of Fox's Faith.
Right.
And I just pictured these executives like, well, let's go down to the marina and go visit Cameron and just see what he's up to. And then pulling up to this warehouse and they're like, Jimmy? Jimmy? And there's like this flapping tarp, and they like pull the tarp and walk into an empty warehouse, and all there is like old computers, like underground bunker style. And they're like, the hell? And they run out, and they hear like a rumbling, and they run back out to the parking lot, and they see a rocket taking off from behind the warehouse. It's Cameron used their money to fund himself to go into space.
To build a space laser that he's going to use to hold Earth hostage. I love this quote from him. He says, what people have to understand is that this is a cadence of releases. So we're not making Avatar 2. We're making Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's an epic undertaking. It's not unlike building the Three Gorges Dam. Which...
Sorry, I took a sip of something and I was trying not to laugh.
That's such a James Cameron thing to say.
I know.
Where he describes himself like it. Normally other people will compare you to an amazing historical human achievement.
Right. The Wright brothers.
Yeah,
James Cameron.
He's like, what I'm doing is not unlike the people who built the Great Wall of China. That's what I'm doing. Most people like there's that reflex where you're like, that sounds kind of conceited. I should not like you have like a mental circuit breaker in your head where you're like, I'll hold off on that. Yeah, I'm thinking it, but I won't say it.
That's so funny.
Not James Cameron.
Yeah, it's one of those things too, though, where it's so easy to make fun of this right now.
Yeah.
I have a feeling when we're like reviewing it, we'll be like, "Damn it, he did it again."
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong.
Probably,
I mean,
yeah.
and that's why I'm being very clear. I'm not going to be the guy who bets against James Cameron.
Mm.
However, I will have some fun poking him with a stick until it comes out.
Yeah.
Totally. Until we eat crow.
Yeah.
But and the other thing though is. It's almost like wash, rinse, repeat, because how many critics and commentators were lying in wait to dog on Titanic, and then and then same thing with Avatar, the first one,
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing the first stills from Avatar, and I was like, really? All right,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the weeks leading up to Avatar, and thinking, oh, this is not going to work.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna. Like I said, put a pin in this conversation.
Yeah.
That being said, moving on, James Cameron is still making movies. However, one director who is no longer making movies. Brian, let's break out a sad violin for him. It's Uwe Boll.
I've not seen one of his films.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I know he is.
But you know him by reputation.
Yes. Like he is the filmmaker whose films are so bad and he is so crazy that he said he would box any critics who disliked his films, and did it.
Yeah. He beat the shit out of people to the point where they were pissing blood. That's true.
That's from that event?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's true.
Oh man.
Yeah. So he doesn't mess around. So did you read this article? This is fascinating in Vanity Fair, talking about how Uwe Boll, after a decade spent making terrible video game adaptation movies, has finally called it quits.
Yeah, he made the first 9/11 comedy.
Which I think the only 9/11 comedy as of now. That's a very niche genre as of now.
Yeah.
No one else has tried to mine the comedic possibilities from one of the worst human tragedies in history.
See, have you seen any of his movies?
I've seen Alone in the Dark, and I saw Blood Rain.
I was just going to say, because I mean, when you say like 9/11 comedy, you're like, oh, okay, it's that type of filmmaker. But he did make some like video game adaptations, or like
that's kind of what he's known for.
Yeah, I mean, are those like wackadoo?
They're terrible. No. I mean, they're terrible. Yeah. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen bits and pieces of In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale.
Right, which is Jason Statham?
Jason Statham is in that. And I mean, the cast is actually kind of impressive considering it. You know, Burt Reynolds is in there.
Oh, wow.
Lily Sobieski. And I mean, he's able to assemble maybe not top tier casts, but not the lowest tier casts.
No.
And I mean, by all accounts, people who work with him are like, I like him. He just makes terrible movies, but like it pays well, you know? Or it pays, not well. I don't know about how well, but you know.
I hadn't read the article. Does it get into what he wants to pursue next?
Well, he's opened up a restaurant.
Oh.
Yes, so he's completely left the movie industry aside. And on the one hand, I was like, oh, I kind of feel bad for him. He's had to give up his dream. But then you read the article and you're like, God, this guy sounds like an asshole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like Tommy Wiseau, right? Who made the Room. Like, he seems like a charming guy.
Yes.
Who's like kind of lovable in a way. In that he realizes on some level that he probably shouldn't get on a high horse about The Room. So he's accepted his role in that phenomenon, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I feel like Uwe Boll is one of these guys who's still defending the films he's made. And it's like, well, I mean, they're not good movies. Like not even in the sense of like, oh man, if he just had the budget. No, they're shot badly. He's getting bad performances out of the actors, and there's no scripts. Like literally, there's no scripts. Like he's reciting lines to them that they are reading on camera, basically. So this is not the situation where you have a misunderstood genius.
Right.
He's a very understood not genius. You know.
Speaking of Tommy Wiseau, I'm really looking forward to The Disaster Artist.
The Disaster Artist, yeah.
I can't even believe that's a movie that exists.
So this is a movie about the making of The Room.
Right.
And it's based on a book by like Tommy Wiseau's partner.
Yeah, I forgot. One of the actors who was in The Room.
Yeah, and he was like the co-producer or something.
Yeah, and The Room, if you don't know, is a movie that was made by this guy named Tommy Wiseau. He comes from mysterious origins. The money came from mysterious origins.
Yeah.
He had $5 million to make this movie that he thought was going to be this sort of like best picture drama. Put up billboards all over Hollywood, very, very small sort of event. And it turns out everyone thought it was a comedy because it was so poorly made, poorly acted. Whatever.
I mean, it you know what it's like for me when I watched it. You know, I went to Columbia College Film School in Chicago. You went to Biola Film School down there. Mm-hmm. This is like those student films where somebody thinks they're being super profound.
Yes.
And it's objectively garbage.
Yeah.
Except that he had $5 million. I don't see $5 million on the screen.
That's what makes it so fascinating, and then it became this midnight cult hit. Where people would just go watch the movie, and it was like Rocky Horror Picture Show, where certain things would happen. There'd be like a call response with the screen.
Yes.
And for some reason, there's framed pictures of like sporks, like throughout the movie. So people bring sporks and throw sporks at the screen whenever they see a frame. And I went to one, and he goes to them. He was there, and he awkwardly throws a football with his friend in the movie. So he'll show up at these screenings and throw a football with you. So he's, like you say, he's sort of embraced like, well, this is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And a random fact about this I always found fascinating was he couldn't decide when he made this movie to shoot it film or digital, so he shot it both.
At the same time.
On one camera rig, he had two cameras the whole film. And so it's just so many weird, interesting details with this story. And the fact that it's going to be dramatized in a movie by Seth Rogen and James Franco and all these people is sort of fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, I guess the lesson is kind of like if you're going to fail spectacularly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Because if this was just like a little student film, then nobody would be talking about it. But he put his failure on blast, and that made him a legend.
Totally. And what even helped to that, I think, is that billboard that he put up was up forever.
Forever, yeah.
I remember driving past it for years, and it just was mysterious. It's like this creepy, ominous image, and it just says The Room, and I'm like, what is this? And it's just funny how it became this thing, and now there's a movie about it, like a biopic. It's crazy.
That's hilarious.
So anyway.
But we don't know when the Disaster Artist is coming out.
I don't know. I know it just played at some sort of festival, or I think South by Southwest, and I think it was like a work in progress still.
Well, as one directing career ends, another has begun, and we've got a bright new light on the directing scene with Jordan Peele, who, my gosh, I still have not seen Get Out.
Oh,
I know. I've been trying to find time. It's hard. I was going to take The Baby, but I figured that might not be appropriate. Exposure to racism at an early age. Yeah. But Jordan Peele, yeah, man, this movie has already made more than $100 million, and it cost like $1.50 to make. Yeah,
I think it's the highest grossing Blumhouse film so far, right?
Yeah, and I mean the hype has just, I mean, the word of mouth has, at least anecdotally, just from talking to my students, has transcended like the movie inclined and sort of expanded out to just people who are looking for something interesting, you know?
Yeah, I know friends of mine who do not like horror films that were like, I have to go see this. Like, this is part of the conversation.
Exactly. Which, if you can have that happen with your debut film, that's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, and in particular, a debut from someone who's making something completely outside of the genre they've previously, handled.
Yeah, so obviously when something is this successful, it leads to, obviously, new offers are coming in. And, when I read this headline, I was like, of course, this is what's happening, where he's now being courted to helm Akira.
Right.
Which is this, it's been bouncing around in development hell for decades. Literally decades.
Yeah.
And this is a feature adaptation of the famous the anime from the 80s.
Which I've never seen. Have you seen it?
I saw it. I saw it like in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So I can't say I remember much about it, but I mean, Warner Brothers has had a bug up their butt about getting this thing made into a movie for I don't even know how long. And it feels like this is a movie. I don't know who's asking for it.
Right. It seems like people who are fans of it would be sort of hesitant.
Yeah. And other people don't know anything about it.
Right.
I mean, I think this kind of relates to the conversation we're going to be having later in this episode. But I mean, if I'm Jordan Peele, I would stay as far away from something like this as possible. You're talking about $100+ million mega budget, big studio movie, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Same. It almost made me not sad, but it's just one of those things where you get this exciting director who made a small movie that everybody loves, that people love because it's very him. It's his voice, and it's something unique and interesting. And then they're like, let's have him remake Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Like, well, and I mean, we've seen this so many times, right? I mean, the innovative, young, creative voice that gets drained out by the studio machine.
And I say, if that young person wants to do that, then awesome.
Yes.
Like, if this guy, like Christopher Nolan, right? Like,
sure.
If he has this passion about Batman and he has a take, I'd love to see that. But, like, I don't want to just see these guys plopped into these, like, pre-ready, movies that don't really need to exist.
Don't need to exist, exactly.
Yeah. That just feels sort of like the cliche and the machine of Hollywood. I
mean, it feels like what people are responding to from Get Out is he has an angle that's interesting and unique. Mm-hmm. And when you look at something like Akira, the framework of the story already exists, and I don't know what Jordan Peele could add to it that would make it uniquely his.
Yeah.
So in other words, it would be a film that he doesn't have a lot of authorship of, and yet he would take most of the blame should it not do well.
Yeah, I would say the only way I would want him to see him do this is if he was like a lifelong fan.
Sure.
Of Akira, and he had an interest in it. Then, okay. I'd love to see his take on it. But otherwise, I'd rather him just keep making his movies.
Yeah, and I got to say, I love the fact that the phrase "director Jordan Peele" is like part of our vernacular now. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Moving on, we do have some trailers to discuss before we talk about new releases in the spoiler wall. So let's get into it. Justice League dropped its first official trailer, Brian.
Yeah, I forgot. I mean, they had that like really long teaser from several months ago.
And that was a sizzle reel. We forget. We thought that was the trailer, but that was actually just the sizzle reel from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and play some of the audio from Justice League, trailer number 1.
Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. It's on him.
Organic and biomechatronic body parts. He's a cyborg.
You should probably move. Barry Allen.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me. You're the Batman?
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
It has to.
So first of all, I and this is something we've talked about before, but I am exhausted by the internet sniping surrounding this movie. I really am. I'm just, and not just this film, but its various appendages. I'm exhausted.
I agree.
You know,
I think the conversation's getting boring.
It's getting boring, you know, and it definitely, it feels like people have dug in their heels, and you have some people who have some kind of emotional investment in tearing down the DC Universe movies. Mm-hmm. And then you have some people who have an emotional investment in no matter what propping it up.
Right.
And I'm feeling like, well, reality is kind of in the middle here, folks. Let's meet there and see how that works out.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, that being said, this trailer did very little for me.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I don't feel like I saw anything I haven't seen already.
Yeah.
I actually wrote down, because it stood out to me so much, my favorite moment, or I would say maybe not favorite, the moment that stood out to me the most was when Wonder Woman was sweeping a guy's leg. Mm-hmm. And the reason it did was because it looked like it was taking place on human Earth.
Okay.
In normal light. And I got really excited. I was like, that's Wonder Woman in a building that I could walk through, taking out a bad guy. That's great.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the whole trailer looks like some color timer.
It's
hit blue.
It's like 300, part 3.
Yeah, and I even noticed all of the buildings, all of the sets, all of the walls looked like they were from like a bad stage play where everything was like made gray. You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's just hard for me to get. I don't know. You know, it just feels like played out. And and then I noticed too. I watched it 2 times. At the end, there's like this Lord of the Rings battle happening.
Yeah,
like a really gray battlefield with all. And I was like,
Yeah, you know what's funny is I saw online somebody posted a screen grab of that shot, and then they juxtaposed it with the airport battle scene in Captain America: Civil War, and they were like, this is why I prefer the DC universe. And I was like, all right, that's fine. But literally, I was like, that's the exact opposite for me.
Ditto.
You know, I was like, I like battles that are relatively contained and that are in familiar settings and that don't feel overwhelming. I think that's just more interesting to me personally. And again, I'm not, look, people like what they like. That's fine. But you can see the divergence here. Mm-hmm. Right? Because what's fascinating to me is this cult of personality that I'm seeing online that's sprung up around Zack Snyder, where people literally, without irony, have photoshopped him into Jesus.
See, it's so funny because there's that, and then there's obviously the obvious where it's just like, hang Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
and I'm like, I'm not on the hang Zack Snyder thing, and I'm also not the Snyder is Jesus thing. I'm like, he's not a good storyteller. I mean, is that a controversial thing to say?
No. It's so funny though, because that I think you and I are coming from the exact same camp where it's like easy to critique his storytelling ability because, you and I both agree he is not a good storyteller. Yeah. But he's a good director.
He knows how to compose a frame.
He knows how to compose a frame. And it's like you can't I don't dislike the guy. I just wish he had stronger scripts to work from.
Yeah.
And again, we just said, like, I mean, this conversation about Justice League is starting to get boring.
It really is.
Because it's so far away.
It is, I know.
But I just can't help but say the same things regarding this trailer. You know, like it's very obvious I'm the guy on here who's always trying to find something positive in everything we look at here. But I want this to be good.
Yeah,
I want to see Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman somewhere in there. You know, in a good movie. I want this to be good. I want to be wrong, but like I'm not enthused about what
I mean, it didn't really move the needle for me. I will say, and I've been saying this consistently, I loved everything we got about Aquaman. I think Aquaman is going to be a star of this universe in a way that people are not realizing. I think Momoa just exudes charisma.
So funny. I'm so not there.
Really?
I want to be. I keep picturing. I almost find it funny.
Yeah.
Every time it's like, you know.
Well, he's kind of like Aqua Bro in the trailer, which maybe is not ideal.
I keep
but
waiting for like the wah song to start playing, and then just like.
Now that you said it, it's gonna like that'll be the first Aquaman trailer, and we'll be like, "Hey, remember that time on the show when we said that?"
Yeah, you know, he comes in and throws the guy, you know, on the thing and picks up a bottle of like hard liquor, and let the bodies hit the floor, like Aquaman. You know, it's just like, okay, like it feels a little out of time to me. It feels like a little Limp Bizkit-y 2000, but like that's just Brian. That's just Brian.
That's so funny. That's the music choice and whatnot, but I think Momoa as a performer, I think is going to surprise a lot of people. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I hope so.
And my wife is a little too excited about Jason Momoa being Aquaman. She's like, "Hey, when's that Aquaman movie coming out?" I'm like, "It's Justice League. It's not Aquaman." Right. You know?
And you just hear her humming to herself as she's doing dishes. Like, let the bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a little too excited. I need to have a conversation about that. It's just funny, too, because Jason Momoa started out on Baywatch.
Really?
Baywatch, Hawaii.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he was like this kid. I mean, Google up pictures of Jason Momoa from Baywatch. I mean, he looks nothing like he does now. You know, he had closely cropped hair. He was like 20.
Oh, I only know him from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, he kind of blew up afterwards, but that's the funny part because I'm like, I remember him from Baywatch. And then that like outs me as being like somebody who watched Baywatch.
I was just looking up the pictures. I was like, oh, okay.
You see it, right?
Funny.
He looks like a little kid.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally. I mean, those eyebrows, those are like undeniable. But
now, speaking of Baywatch, I did want to mention that a new trailer for Baywatch dropped.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that real briefly.
Welcome to Baywatch. Our team is the elite of the elite. We're the heart and soul of this very beach. Come on, Pete, make my pecs a little bigger. And don't cover up my front bump.
You got it. Huge dick.
Big dick.
We're staring into the abyss here. It's up to us to restore the Baywatch brand.
Hey, One Direction, you here for the qualifiers?
I'm Matt Brody. I don't have to try out. I've got 2 gold medals.
Hey! Matt Brody, yes! We still don't give up. Training begins at 0600.
This has nothing to do with saving people! These are refrigerators!
This is Baywatch, you pussy!
So I saw, from the first trailer, I was not particularly blown away by it. I will say, though, this one did kind of move the needle for me.
Oh, funny. See, again, with the Aquaman, I thought this looked like Chip's Bad to me.
See, this to me, I'll tell you. Well, Chip's Bad. Wow, man. Let's not say things we can't take back. That movie opened predictably in like 47th place at the box office. Right. Who did not see that coming?
Yeah.
The thing with the second trailer for Baywatch, I think that again, and I'm not like I'm there opening night, but it realized that their selling point is The Rock.
Yes.
Being The Rock.
Right.
And so they should just call it The Rock's charming summer frolic movie. And you know, and that's what put me in the camp where I'm like, well, that looks like it could potentially be fun.
I understand that because I mean, The Rock's charm, everybody is under its spell. I totally get it. I think for me, it was the moment in the trailer where they're like, we got a dying franchise. And I was like, are you serious? Like,
that's exactly what Jump Street did, right?
Literally what Jump Street did. And it was just like, I mean, it's obviously going for this like hard R comedy, which when it works, I love it. But when it feels forced, I like put a cold shoulder to it. Like, I reject what you are, the scientific formula you tried to concoct to recreate something that already was successul. Like, that's, I just
Professor
this,
Frink like put it through the rebootatron.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Ahoy, Glavin! We take the rock and we add Baywatch.
Exactly. Like, add like knowing meta commentary and make the poster look like a dick and balls from 2 beach balls and a surfboard, and we have, immediately 45 million guaranteed. Opening weekend. It's like, I can't turn that thing off.
Here's what I will say. Jump Street was the movie where I was like, I think I like Channing Tatum.
Totally, which I like those movies.
Yeah, me too. So I'm kind of like I'm putting on my Brian hat. I'm like, I would love for this to be the movie where I like Zac Efron.
You know what made me like Zac Efron was a really bad movie, Neighbors 2.
Okay, which I haven't seen.
I mean, he was great in 1, but in 2 he plays this more vulnerable character.
Okay. And
he's really good.
Really? So you already boarded the Zac Efron train
on HBO. And yeah, I think he's good. I just don't tend to like the movies he's in.
Sure.
That's funny. So yeah, I hope you find that.
This I know. I just want to fall in love with Zac Efron, Brian.
That's the moment your wife walks behind you as you're.
She just walks in and then quietly backs out.
Yeah, like carrying laundry, just like. Ugh.
I want to love him. That's all. But yeah, and Priyanka Chopra is in this. She's all over the place now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
So we had like we had a Baywatch digression, but going from Justice League. Oh wait, there's no colon subtitle. From Justice League to
yeah, that's funny.
I'm so used to that. To Spider-Man: Homecoming. Well, let's play some of the audio first.
Justice League: Dark Sets.
That should be the title. Yeah.
So to become an Avenger, are there like trials or an interview?
Do me a favor. Can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Just stay close to the ground.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube. Can you summon an army of spiders?
No, Ned, no.
Do you know him too?
Stole his shield.
Can I try the suit on?
Badass. The rich and the powerful, like Stark, they don't care about us.
The world's changing, boys.
Time we change too.
These weapons are crazy dangerous.
Listen, Peter, forget the flying monster guy. There are people who handle this sort of thing.
The illegal weapons ferry was at 2:30. You missed it.
So, a lot of complaints online that this one gives away too much.
I had that feeling the second it was over.
So you kind of feel like you get the beginning, middle, and the end.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt you do.
Yeah.
But they show a lot of the problems or the scenarios he's going to get in and their resolutions.
Sure.
In the trailer, which is like, well, then when that moment begins in the movie, I already know the outcome and the conversation he has
definitely
afterward.
the scene with the cruise ship where Iron Man is like helping to put it together.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm
you
like,
gotta imagine that's like in the middle or probably towards
yeah, but you feel like that should be kind of a triumphant moment.
Yes.
Like, I feel like you could have gotten to the point where Tony Stark is saying, give me your suit.
Yes.
Without needing that, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, here's why I preferred this trailer to the Justice League one. Mm-hmm. We have a clear sense of who the villain is and what the conflict is.
Yeah.
You know?
I really love this trailer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks noticeably different from any of the other Spider-Man movies we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And more so tonally. I mean, visually they're all kind of a piece, but tonally, I mean, he's a kid. He feels like a kid for the first time ever. You know?
Yeah, I think the humor's fun, and like you said, the tone. There's some, and I saw whatever movie I saw the other day in the theater. They played, for some reason, the new trailer, Spider-Man trailer, was out, but they played the first one again.
Yeah.
And,
they did the same thing.
But just, I don't know, music choice coupled with, him pining over some girl at school. Like, something about it just felt very charming.
Yeah.
Like, it's really working for me. I'm excited about it.
I think this kid, I think he's
the kid.
He's a find.
Yeah. And I even with the other previous Spider-Man movies, I've felt like sort of on an island where I'm like, I don't know. They're okay till like I don't necessarily care.
Yeah.
And but I find myself like eager for this one. So
yeah. It's just funny how Sony is already making noises about separating Spider-Man from the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, leave it to Sony to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. They're like, yeah, we're going to do one sequel to this, and then we'll see. It's like, yeah, guys, because people are lining up to see the ones that you guys are doing.
Right. Right.
Now, you heard about this. They're doing a Venom spin-off movie that will have no connection to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, let's do a Joker movie that has no connection to DC or Batman.
Yeah, just we own it.
Yeah, so might as well take advantage. Like, it's just so odd to me. Like, now you're granted, you're like a lay person. You're familiar with Venom.
Oh, totally. I was going to bring this up. Yeah, this doesn't mean a whole lot to me, honestly. But
when you think about it, you're the audience it needs to appeal to.
Yeah. But going back to this whole Hollywood self-aware thing that makes me roll my eyes, it was funny because they're like, we're going to make a Venom movie rated R. It's got to be rated R, guys. Logan, Logan. I was just like, okay. Like, calm down.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Are
you, knowing Venom way better than I do, are you...
I don't even like Venom when he is part of the Spider-Man universe. Mm. So, do I want to see him completely separate from that? No, zero interest, less than zero.
Right.
I would rather watch Baywatch 2 without The Rock.
What? Oh, Zachy.
That's right. Okay, so our last trailer for this episode, and this is one that I'm very excited to discuss: War for the Planet of the Apes.
You're him. You're Caesar. We've been searching for you for so long.
I did not start this war. I fight only to protect apes.
Human gets sick, ape gets smart. Then human kill ape. But not me. I run.
There are times when it is necessary to abandon our humanity, to save humanity.
So, my biases, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
But this trailer was freaking awesome.
I agree. I felt like it's incredibly epic. But I was like, wow, when they rebooted this, back several years ago, they were building to this. I'm glad they got to this moment.
Yeah. They got the chance to, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you have to set it up for everybody, but this just looks like this incredible, epic sort of payoff from what's been building up over two movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like you wonder, what do they have a plan to continue after this? Or is this the culmination of the whole story? What because it really does feel like a massive wrap up.
And halfway through, I actually was almost taken out of it because I was looking at these apes doing these things, and I could not believe they were computer generated.
Oh yeah,
couldn't believe it.
We're at a point now where even if you go back and watch Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that looks slightly creaky compared to where we're at now.
Yeah. But so I thought it was great, and I thought it looked, like I said, like epic.
Yeah.
In all the best ways. Really emotional, really big. But as you, who are the Planet of the Apes connoisseur, you're there, I assume.
Oh my gosh, it's funny because I was talking online with some folks who are like, I want to see them redo the original one next, and I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that? You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
To me, they've created such a rich world here that doesn't need, you can tell so many different stories with the time available to you, because that's like 2,000 years later, without ever needing to touch that story.
Yeah, well, and A, it already exists, but B, it seems like having these stories that surround that story, that one wouldn't be as shocking.
Right. I mean, there's no
that's
twist.
Kind of the point of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because some people are like, well, you just have the because remember in the first of these films, they allude to the missing spaceship.
Right.
And it's like, well, you have him come back, and I'm like, what are you gonna like? Are you gonna have him come back now in the timeline of the films? That's like 40 years after they left. That's not the same.
Yeah.
I think. They're wrong. Is my point.
It doesn't seem necessary.
You do not remake original Planet of the Apes. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, they've had 3 successes not doing that, so...
Yeah, well, at least 2 so far. One assumes this one will be a success, but
correct.
Fingers crossed, we'll see. But moving on, there's some Star Wars news before we talk about our spoilers for this episode.
Star Wars news. I keep saying it. I can't believe Episode 8 is coming out this year.
In a few months.
We haven't seen the trailer. We haven't seen...
And isn't that great?
Yes.
I mean, we're going to see the first trailer in a few weeks, whenever Star Wars Celebration is.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I want to have anything spoiled or whatever, but I'd love a taste.
Sure.
I'd like a little taste, I'll be honest.
Well, we're gonna get the first trailer in a few weeks, and then there will be the second trailer in the fall.
Right.
So we'll be fine.
But speaking of Star Wars future, I mean, Bob Iger, Disney CEO, had a few things to say. He had a speaking engagement because I guess he had his contract renewed through 2019 or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was addressing a few things on Star Wars fans' minds. One being, which we already knew this, but that they would not be creating a digital Carrie Fisher.
Right.
At this point, it sounds like in the 8 and 9, which I think some people are a little concerned about because they literally have already made a digital Carrie Fisher.
That's right.
That was while she was still with us. And then also, of course, making the digital Tarkin. But, yeah, I think when you get like a glimpse of her as like a kind of moment is one thing, but having her actually be a living, breathing character interacting with people would be a little too weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think as it's just a matter of taste, it would leave a bad taste in people's mouth.
Yeah. But then he also, which I think, again, comes as no surprise to us, was talking about how there are going to be Star Wars movies to come for basically, what did he say, like a decade and a half at least of Star Wars films? I mean, at least through like 2030, we are going to be watching Star Wars movies, I would assume, seemingly every year. Which makes me wonder just what they have cooked up. I mean, can you imagine just getting a field trip to go hang out in that, brain trust for a day and just seeing like all the things written on their whiteboards and the strings and the whatever they have concocted? I mean, you've got to assume they have the broad strokes of the direction already planned out, and like what an interesting and exciting room to be in.
Yeah, and I mean, the question still is, what are their plans for the saga after this trilogy? I keep coming back to that.
Yeah. I mean, they already kicked off a story, which was hard enough to make everyone be like, okay, we're telling a new story here, and we're going to make the whole world care about it, and they did.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay, cool. We got another trilogy here, but then, I mean, where in the world do you go for the next decade and a half?
Yeah.
And make it seem just as vital. I don't know.
It's an odd thing because I mean, I'm sure they know what they're doing, but I'm just curious. I mean, do they plan to sort of ride things out with the current characters, or do they plan to skip ahead to the next generation? Is that what people are going to want? Mm-hmm. Like when you think about it, I mean, we have Finn and Rey and all these by necessity because of how much time passed between Return of the Jedi and Episode 7. Mm-hmm. But had they made sequels in between there, they would have likely had Han Solo and Luke, and
right.
So is in other words, are we locked into something where each trilogy has to be about a new set of characters?
Right.
Even if that's not necessarily what people want.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too, where there's been a lot of speculation about whether Luke is going to make it even through Episode 8.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where do you feel beholden to the fact that you have to stretch out the Star Wars stories for years and years and years? Or are you going to sort of like, no, it really makes sense to get rid of Luke here even though we have Mark Hamill and we have like 10 more stories to tell, you know?
Right.
You wonder how that comes into decision making.
Well, what else?
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Actually out currently digitally and then comes out on Blu-ray April 4th. So you rewatched it, right? I think I
did.
asked.
I did, yeah.
You sent me a picture. You were watching it with your kids.
That's right.
Yeah. So I haven't seen it since the theater. How's it hold up?
It does. It holds up great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all the stuff that I responded to in the theater is still there, and some really good special features, by the way, that I think you'll enjoy going through. I mean, there's some neat stuff in there about how they reconstructed digital Tarkin and digital Leia, and the way they. I mean, it's like CGI masks, CGI makeup. You know, because there were real actors on set who, you know, in the case of Tarkin, this guy Guy Henry, who performed the role wearing the costume and doing the dialogue, doing a Tarkin voice. And then they just put a Peter Cushing mask on him, essentially, in the computer.
Wow, that's... Yeah.
It's amazing.
I did feel like his mask held up a little bit stronger
than Leia's.
Than the Leia one did.
There's something slightly off about the Leia effect at the end.
You know, and I realized what it is this week because on Instagram, someone posted they did their own version of it.
Okay.
With Carrie Fisher's face over the moment in Rogue One, and then they paired it with what we actually got, and you're like, like when you see it, it's her nose is a little too long.
Oh, how interesting.
And it's funny because, like you said, they're putting masks over actual actors. So the thing is that actress just, I mean, the shape of her face may have looked like Carrie Fisher, but certain features or attributes of her face didn't. And it seems like they didn't adjust those.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, like when I saw the version that the amateur person had made on Instagram, and it actually looked quite good, I was like, oh, I wonder why they wouldn't sort of nudge things a little bit, especially for such a short moment.
Oh, you'll have to send that to me. I'm curious to check that out.
Yeah, I'll dig it up and find it. But anyway, I mean, you know, it was still impressive, but it was an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. This is the first Star Wars movie that I haven't immediately been like, well, I'm going to buy that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm still undecided.
You're undecided whether you're going to buy Rogue One.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, what do we have? Like the original trilogy, of course, prequels that come in the box set. But like the Force Awakens, it was one of those things where I was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to get that. But this one I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, let me know. I'm sure our audience is waiting to hear whether you
bated breath.
Where you come down on that decision. All right, so we have a couple new releases that we're going to dive into some spoilers for. Mm-hmm. So last week we saw the release of Power Rangers.
Yes.
And this is a movie that we've spent so much time talking about on this show, despite you and I both having little to no interest in the franchise upon which it's based.
Correct.
I was like, we spent far too much time given our lack of interest in Power Rangers. And so it's kind of like, well, we owe it to our audience, having talked about it this much, that we probably do need to have a discussion about the film.
Yeah, and part of that, I feel like I need to clarify before we get into it, is that we didn't grow up with this.
Yeah, this is not like, oh, we hate this. It's just this is not our thing.
We're not familiar with it. Yeah,
right. That's and that's I have a feeling you and I are both gonna make similar points as we have our discussion about it. The movie, I knew it was going to do well when I was looking to buy tickets to the Thursday night show because I wanted to catch an early screening of it, and it was completely sold out.
Really?
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, okay, there's something happening here. And it ended up doing something like $45 million over the weekend, which, I mean, that's more than I would have expected.
Yeah, I'd say that's respectable. It was like right behind Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, you know, and it seems to have generated a lot of goodwill from the fans. I have not checked Rotten Tomatoes, but I would assume that Rotten Tomatoes is on the negative side, I'm assuming.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I mean, do we want to give our non-spoiler take before we?
Sure.
Well, how do we want to do this, actually? Because we also need to talk about Ghost in the Shell.
It's funny because I feel like both movies are a little difficult to spoil.
Okay.
Maybe more so Ghost in the Shell, I guess, could have spoilers. I don't really feel like I need to get into spoilers, honestly, with Power Rangers.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a good point. So let's do a non-spoiler take on Power Rangers, and we'll talk a little bit of Ghost in the Shell, and we can spoil that if we need to.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Sure. Let's do it.
Sorry, folks. We're like working out we're doing the math live on mic. This is good. This is very professional. So Brian, you want me to give my take first?
Yeah, sure.
So I told you my frame of reference going in. When I went in to watch Power Rangers, I was thinking about our listener at Alex Marco, who is a loyal listener to our show, and he's also a big Power Rangers fan, and he's been looking forward to the movie. And I was like, I want to look at this from his perspective as somebody who grew up with the show. And that was the disconnect for me, because I think the original show really illustrates how children can look at things with sort of stardust in their eyes. Mm-hmm. Because objectively, the original Power Rangers is not good. It's a garbage show.
Right.
And that's not me making that's not a critical judgment. That's just, it cost very little, and they took cheap footage from a terrible Japanese show, and they married it with footage of bad actors acting badly. And that's the show. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the thing is that when you're a kid, you don't see the seams. Yeah, you just take what's presented. And you fill in the gaps with your imagination. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I was like, well, how is this any different than how I still love G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not, Right. Like the original G.I. Joe cartoon, which I still watch and I enjoy. I like watching it with my kids. But I watch it with the eyes of a 5-year-old. Right. And so with this, I was like, my curiosity was, what are they going to do to update it? And I'll tell you, I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie. Yeah. Okay, we agree with each other. Oh, I was, I didn't want to give it away, but I really like this movie. Well, okay. Sticking with the peek behind the curtain thing, we were supposed to record on Wednesday, and I just didn't manage to see this movie. And I was like, that's fine. I'll let Zachy talk about it. I'll talk about something else. And Zachy was like, no, we'll push. Go see it. And I was like, I didn't even tell you this. I was so begrudgingly like, seriously, I got 2 hours and I go over to the theater, $15. Like I just the whole time, even before it started, I was like, why am I damn here? Zachy. And then final episode of the show. Yeah, halfway through, I was like, I really like this. Okay, this is really fun. That's really interesting. Yeah, and then I was like, this is why Zachy wanted me to see it, because I think he knew I was going to like it. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I think obviously part of it is just the benefits of lowered expectations. Probably. But what I appreciated is that they took it seriously to the extent that they took that concept from that show, which is goofy and silly, and they said, no, let's play it straight. Yeah. Play it straight within the framework that exists. Yeah. But I appreciated that, Yeah, I think that was one of the strengths of the movie, was that I actually liked all the kids. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, it seems like in a bad version of this, you just get a handsome guy and a cute girl and a nerdy guy and a whatever, and you don't care about them, you just want them to get to the action. Right? Yeah. But half this movie, a good hour of this movie is character. It's just character. It's Chronicle. It is. Yeah. Yeah, but it's... like I said, I thought they were all interesting, and I thought they were all pretty good actors, and I thought each character was. I was like, oh well, I care about that guy. I care about her. I care. I was really blown away by it. Like that, it actually was a good story before it got to the action. Yeah. What's interesting is, for me, really, when I realized in hindsight, what won me over was the opening scene with Bryan Cranston playing it totally straight. Yes. And in hindsight, I think I was like, that was the moment where I was like, okay, I'm on board for this movie. Because I was like, if Bryan Cranston's taking this seriously, I'm going to take it seriously. Yeah. It's like prehistoric times, and there's like some sort of crazy, supernatural, wacky, sort of thing happening, and Bryan Cranston is in like full makeup as this alien, and he is like selling it. Yeah.
And I actually thought to myself, I literally, one of the first thoughts I had during this movie was, God bless Bryan Cranston. I mean, he is going for it. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, he doesn't have to do this. You know, like,
he doesn't, yeah.
Same with Elizabeth Banks, right? I mean, she is like not holding back. Like, she's going for it. And I was like, I was enjoying watching her going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's clearly like having a good time being this like silly villain.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like there's the versions of this that you could see where they're winking at it, and there's a few kind of nods to the original version, you know, where like it's Morphin Time, and
yes,
I think at one point they say "Go Go Power Rangers," like that plays on the soundtrack. But otherwise, again, it's the version of the movie I would have wanted to see if this was something I grew up with.
That's what I wrote down. I said, I imagine the fans of this would be happy because this, to me, felt like the Ninja Turtles movie in 1990.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like it's the movie that didn't betray its origins, but it also took them seriously. And somehow, I mean, that's like such a tightrope walk, right?
Yeah.
But they totally managed to take it seriously, but still have a good time and actually make a fun, interesting movie.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I took my kids, and this is their first exposure to Power Rangers, period.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would imagine that they would consider the show as a big letdown.
I was wondering that. I was just, when you said that, I was wondering if then you're like, oh, well, there's like 800 episodes of this. If you want it, and they'd be like, what the heck is this?
What is this? I thought that, you know, one thing I did appreciate was the diversity in the main characters.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like aggressively diverse. It just is. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're totally like, here's the token this thing, and here's the token that guy, and here's like it just didn't feel like that. Like
doesn't aggressively diverse sound like a band?
Yeah.
Let's give it up for aggressively diverse.
It didn't feel shoehorned, is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's one of the characters is autistic.
Yes,
and I mean he is as as each scene requires. I found,
yes,
but at the same time, I appreciated what they were doing. Well, and it's funny because there was a lot of think pieces and whatnot about how the Trini, the one character, she's gay, right?
But I'm like, really? This is like LaFleur in Beauty and the Beast, where it's like you're making a lot of hay out of not a lot. I mean, there's literally one line that is never followed up on.
Yeah,
you know, and it's fine. But I'm not, you know.
Yeah, no. It's just this. Yeah, like we said. I mean, they weren't like, and this is this person, and this is this. It's just they just. It's woven in naturally, all of it.
And they were smart to mix the colors up a little bit because in the original show, the Black Ranger was black.
Right.
The Yellow Ranger was an Asian girl.
Right.
Which is like, I'm glad they made a smart play in kind of moving the races around a little bit.
Yeah. But I also wanted to bring up, when you said the moment that hooked you was the Cranston thing. And I did like all that. The moment that got me actually was there's a car chase at the beginning.
Yes.
And the way that it's shot,
yeah, it's really.
I was like, wow, like this truck is trying to evade the cops, and the camera never cuts. I mean, there must be digital stitching in there somewhere, but like it keeps turning around to reveal different things that are happening during the chase. And when he accidentally bumps into a cop car, like backs into it, and the way they filmed it, I actually jolted, and I was like, whoa, like. This director, like I mean, he's this director is really interesting, right? He's got an eye, yeah.
So his name is Dean Israelite, born in 1984.
I saw that. I was like, damn you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but think about it. He's 9 years old when Power Rangers comes out.
Yeah.
So he's looking at the original show with the exact eye it was intended to be looked at.
Yeah.
So I mean, he got to make the movie that he saw in his mind when he was a kid.
That's funny. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I really thought he was pretty skilled. Like there was a moment too where they're in a van and they're trying to outrun a train, and you see the camera overhead on the van, and then it sort of pans up, keeping the van in frame to reveal the train and how fast it's going and where it is in relation to them. And I was like, That's what good directors do. Like, it didn't do some shaky, choppy cut. Train over here, van over here.
Look,
I was like...
spatial relationships.
Yeah,
They're
geography,
important.
whatever. I mean, this guy... I'd be curious what he does next.
Well, he did
honestly.
Project Almanac before this. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I didn't. I heard that was just kind of okay, but I remember the concept sounded interesting.
Yeah, it was like another found footage thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was impressed enough with this. I mean, I think, supposedly they've got big plans for many more of these, and I don't know that you need that necessarily, but I guess it's not surprising. But as a reboot to a franchise that I had zero interest in, I will say that, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I say this a lot, but growing up in the 80s, I'm just naturally drawn to these movies where it's like something fantastic happens in your backyard.
Right.
Fly the Navigator, E.T., Back to the Future kind of stuff. And like I felt like this movie sort of tapped into that, where it's like this fantastic thing is happening, but it's clearly grounded in this town. Like, very realistic town. And so the whole third act is, basically all these crazy things happening.
That town, by the way, does not exist by the end of the movie.
Oh, I was going to say that. It's kind of funny. They actually say, like, we've got... They're Angel Grove, I think it's called.
Yeah.
They're like, if you don't do something, Angel Grove won't exist.
Yeah.
It'll be wiped away. And then I was like, well, in defending Angel Grove, they pretty much destroyed all of Angel Grove.
The town does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have caught this, but at the very end, there's 2 cameos by the original Pink Ranger.
Oh, I did. I did notice that, yeah.
Oh, okay. And the White Ranger.
Yeah, or green, I think.
Well, he's green, and then he became the White Ranger.
Oh. Look, I think we're accidentally revealing that we know.
I know. Well, what's funny is what I remember about being a kid in the suburbs of Chicago is kids would be running around and they'd be like, White Power Ranger. And I was like, I don't know if that was intentional, but that I might want to change that.
Yeah, right.
White Power Ranger.
Yeah.
But so that's the hidden neo-Nazi agenda of the Power Rangers. I think. Yeah. I think we just blew it wide open.
Yeah.
All right, so thumbs up for Power Rangers.
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk? If you would have told me a year ago that this would be the conversation we'd have, wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
There is another new release. See, Brian, you went to see Power Rangers. I went to see this.
Yeah, so I saw Ghost in the Shell on Wednesday, and I was thinking I was going to be talking about this alone. Surprise, surprise.
Here we go. I was like, Brian's watching Power Rangers for me. I'm going to watch Ghost in the Shell for him so we can have a conversation.
Right.
So this is directed by Rupert Sanders, and it's based on the 1995, I want to say, anime movie.
I believe.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay, good.
I actually wanted to watch it before I went.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you're like, eh.
and then I was able to go to like an early thing, and it was just like I didn't have time.
Didn't bother with it.
Yeah.
All right. So this stars Scarlett Johansson, and there's been a lot of controversy about this because of so-called whitewashing, where they took an Asian character and turned her into Scarlett Johansson. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But I mean, what are your general thoughts on the film before we get into spoilers?
So I saw this at an IMAX 3D screening.
Me too.
And it was amazing to take in. Yeah. Right? I mean, it really is a beautiful, beautiful movie. And I found that about 30 minutes in, I was like, I'm not sure I even know what this movie's about.
Yeah.
And I really didn't care about anybody. And I thought about halfway through the movie sort of kicked in, and I was like, okay, like now I get this. And there was like some interesting sort of story events that I was like, okay, yeah, all right. But then I found it losing me again.
Yeah.
Toward the end. And so ultimately there was some like cool nuggets in there, and visually all the way through it is totally a spectacle that's worth watching.
Yes.
But I didn't really...
You could watch with the sound off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is beautiful. And if you have any interest at all, of course, go see it in a theater, because there's a lot to take in visually. But I just found myself ultimately kind of cold on it. I found the movie cold, I guess. It was just... I remember when I was in college, the Matrix sequels were coming out.
Yes.
And one of my professors was like, I just can't get into these movies. I went to the midnight thing with my son, but you have all these lead characters that just have no emotions.
Yeah.
And when you do that, I just can't get into these movies. And I understand where he's coming from, and maybe it's my age or something, but I love the Matrix movies.
Yeah.
And even though they do act a little monotone, I still really cared about the journey of Neo. And I couldn't help but think about the Matrix as I was watching this movie. And something about it, there's just something about the guy who's thrust into this thing he doesn't understand, and the whole Alice in Wonderland sort of aspect of it, and the fight sequences, I mean, to this day, I think are breathtaking. And I just wish this movie had felt that way, but ultimately it did not to me.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your?
No, you actually echoed my thoughts pretty thoroughly. I had a couple thoughts. I was kind of like, there's the controversy about whitewashing, which on one level I understand. My thinking is like, well, I'm assuming that Scarlett Johansson's a draw in Asia too.
Right. I mean, there's obviously like business. There's a lot of stuff at play. Yeah,
so I mean, I'm not going to get into that. I will say I was kind of underwhelmed by her performance.
It's yeah.
Like because that was kind of my thing. Like if she's a selling point, she didn't really sell me. She just felt very detached, and I guess part of that is because she's a robotic character.
That was the thing. I couldn't tell if it was a choice. I mean, I assume it was a choice.
Yeah,
but I don't know that it was a completely effective choice.
I mean, I didn't find her journey particularly compelling, and I found it kind of goofy. There's a part in the film where are we like doing spoilers?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah. I think we're veering toward it.
Okay, so at this point, we may potentially spoil the movie. She just shows up at this woman's house.
Yes.
And it turns out, we find out later that that's her mother from her previous life.
Right. Because she is someone else's consciousness put into Scarlett Johansson's synthetic body.
Right, exactly. Worth clarifying that. So she's known this woman for like 5 minutes, and this woman just like info dumps everything about the character.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like I'm seeing the seams are showing, because I'm like, that's something that the screenwriter puts in to get exposition out. That doesn't feel like something any normal person would do in this situation.
Right.
And then literally, like, Scarlett Johansson gets up to leave, and she's like, "Wait, will you come back and visit me again?" Like, what? Who says that?
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny. Everything you're saying is totally correct, but I have to admit that I did actually like that scene. Was an entry point for me.
Okay.
And not because necessarily it was executed well, but I was like, that's interesting. Like, her daughter, that mother's daughter, is in this machine sitting before her. And I was like, that's what I want to explore. So I was like, okay, hopefully this is... It almost turns into RoboCop.
Sure.
Right? Where she realizes she was a person, and it's being suppressed. And like glimpses of it are starting to come through. I mean, it's almost like literally like RoboCop, right? Like
it is, but look at the difference, right? In RoboCop,
that's what I was going to say. It's not as effective as RoboCop.
Yeah, because in RoboCop, you don't have a character sit down with him and be like, "So you remind me of my husband, Alex Murphy, and he was a good guy." Like we have scenes like when RoboCop is going through the house and he's fragments of memory are coming back. Like that. That was my thing. I was like, they should call she's exposition mom. Because she's just like blah, like this whole thing. Oh, she used to go to this place and she was there with all these people and she wrote this thing here, and then one time this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this. Hey, where are you going? Well, come back and visit. I was like, what?
Yeah. I think I honestly might have been somewhat blinded to that just because I was happy that it, like, I mean, seriously, like I was like, I really didn't know what her journey was until like moments before that moment, and that was like, I want this. I wanted that, And so and then I just feel like it didn't keep up with it. Even like I wish it had gone further. And she eventually, meets who was her former boyfriend in another synthetic body, which I was like, there it is, but it took a long time to get here, and as interested as I was when it was introduced, I wasn't maintaining interest in it.
Yeah. The third act kind of builds to this pseudo action climax, and I don't know, I kind of checked out by then.
Yeah, but
I was kind of ready for it to be done.
That's one of those things, though, like you said, where you could watch this whole thing on mute.
Yeah.
The movie does have its merits visually as something to take in.
Yeah.
But it's just unfortunate it didn't have the story to go along with that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some interesting stuff there about the idea, these enhancements that people are putting themselves through. And
yeah, I thought it was interesting, the prostitute, how she pretended like she was a robot because that was more interesting to people.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That was interesting. And then, the guy with the white hair who has his eyes replaced with little weird computer eyes.
Yeah, that was cool. It was a cool visual, too.
It was unnerving because it was kind of hard to look at,
Yeah.
But the idea that we're doing this to ourselves, and that's an outgrowth of where we are now. I think another problem is that I think just conceptually, this is one of those situations. It's like John Carter, where Ghost in the Shell precedes so much of what we now think of in this space, the VR space or whatever. But the movie took so long to come out that what was revolutionary when it was introduced by Ghost in the Shell is now it feels like it's playing catch up. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't feel as new as it probably did, in 1995.
Right.
And that's what I mean by John Carter. Like, John Carter inspired so much science fiction. Mm-hmm. But when it came out, you're like, well, it's just like this and this and this and all, all the stuff that inspired it, but ended up getting made as a movie first. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a little bit of that too. I mean, I think, as I was watching it, I was curious who the audience for it was.
Yeah, I wondered too how well it was going to do. I mean, we'll find out soon enough. But yeah. I mean, it's funny, for all the talk of a Black Widow movie, and they haven't done it yet, Scarlett Johansson keeps making these action movies outside of the Marvel movies that do well. So I mean, she's found like a thing, and so I just wondered if this would like Lucy, for example, and I just wondered if this would.
Well, this is like the second in her trilogy of enhanced female operatives,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just curious. I mean, is she a genre? Her as action star, you know what I mean? Like,
when you think about it, you take Lucy, where she's like a human enhanced to her full potential. And then we have Ghost in the Shell, where she's like a merger of human and machine. And then her, where she's just an artificial intelligence.
Right.
We've got like the ScarJo trifecta.
Right. And then on that movie Under the Skin, I saw someone else point this out. I haven't seen that, but she's playing like a creature inside a woman's body, trying to assimilate. And I was like, oh, that's fun.
So, we're seeing a through line of her choices.
Yeah.
Her non-Marvel choices. So what's the verdict then on Ghost in the Shell?
Man, it's hard to say, because I didn't really love it.
No.
But it is really cool to look at. So, I mean, if people know that and that's still enough, because that was why I had any draw to it at all. I just loved the imagery I was seeing in the trailers, and I wanted to see that like on full display. And
her weird like naked suit.
Yeah. And then like the whole sort of futuristic Tokyo and all the weird cars. I actually really dug all that stuff. Like, there's like,
and there was a high level of practical sets that I like in terms of the cars and things. I mean, there's obviously heavy use of digital for much of it, but I'm thinking of like the shootouts and things. I mean, they felt real. They felt tactile. Yeah,
no, they really did. And there's the moment again. I mean, I can only speak to the IMAX 3D thing, but the moment where her first mission and it, sails above the futuristic rooftops. I mean, very Blade Runner-esque rooftops, and then sort of zeroes in on her, and she drops down, to jump through a window or something. It was breathtaking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you go in with low expectations regarding the story and just want to watch like a visual feast, I would say go check it out. But I was hoping for something a little more meat on it.
Well, this is 2 in a row that we agree on.
Yeah.
So that's
Isn't that
our
funny? Power Rangers.
I know.
I would have never guessed.
Power Rangers is the unequivocal thumbs up for this episode.
Yeah.
Never would have thought. I guess there's something to be said for always keeping an open mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess that's as good a place as any to wind down this episode, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one in the can, Zachy. We did it.
Another one on a beautiful Friday morning before you have to go to work. Before we wrap things up, is there anything that you can share with the audience about what you have working on, what you have coming up, what you're working on?
Yeah, I've been a little coy about it previously because I wanted to wait for an announcement, but I used to work at Bob's Burgers, which I loved, and I left lovingly to go over to become a staff writer on a Disney animated show called Puppy Dog Pals. And they just released a debut date, and it's going to be on Disney Junior on April 14th. So if you have young children, I think they're really going to like this. It's a really, really cute show, and I'm excited to be a part of it now.
And Sean Coyle is a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Our friend and former co-host, Sean Coyle.
Yeah.
And as for me, you can find me at my website, ZackysCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle. You can also find my movie reviews at the Huffington Post, as well as this show, as well as the Nostalgia Theater Show. It's been a little bit delayed, but my new episode of the Nostalgia Theater Show should be up by the time you're listening to this. It's my conversation with Rich Handley and Jim Beard about their new Planet of the Apes fiction anthology that they edited called Tales from the Forbidden Zone. And this is a terrific collection of fiction from across the spectrum of the Apes franchise. And this is, believe it or not, this is the first time there's ever been a fiction anthology about Planet of the Apes. It's never been. And so we had a really good time talking about Planet of the Apes. Brian, as you know, just from this episode, I don't need much incentive to talk apes. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun talking about it. I think you all will enjoy listening to that. And I think that's it. Oh, of course, as I remind you every episode, please go to iTunes, go to Stitcher Radio, leave a star rating, leave a review, let people know how we're doing. I want to implore you. I know we got lots of people who listen regularly. Please do us a favor. Just go to iTunes, let people know what you think of the show, because every little bit helps, and that's why we'd like you to do that. And we'll be back in just a few weeks. We'll be talking about Fate of the Furious.
Man, another one.
I know. And
the last one was just here.
It does feel like it. And I think by next episode, summer movie season will be officially in gear, and we'll be just rocking and rolling through August and September.
Yeah.
So lots of fun stuff coming up. Thanks again for listening. This has been Movie Film 115. My name is Zachy Hassan, and on behalf of Brian Hall, thanks for listening.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast.